Oh, that was a good one. I had a little too much fun with that. That one in particular killed me. The gas can. My goodness. And I like mixed-use spots. I just don't know that I'd put my gas can right next to my amplifier next to a lit candle. Oh, what's up, everybody? This is the Hammer to Crash Course After Chat. My wife picked up some hard seltzer not too long ago, and we over the last couple of weeks we've killed the pack, but it's called Happy Dad. It's just a like nondescript can of hard cider called Happy Dad. It's like, your dad's a little bit of a booze hound. Why don't you give him some Happy Dad? Hey, cheers to that. Anyway, thanks for joining us out here in the Ham Radio Crash Course After Chat. Our goal is to just answer questions, right? That's the big thing. And the way we do that, at least I found that one of the best ways to do it is through Discord. Now, you don't have to be on Discord, but it's really nice when we've got 50 or so of our Discord friends all on the voice chat together that we can kind of round table some of the questions, because no one ham knows everything about amateur radio. Nor is that even reasonable to assume anyone would. So having a forum type situation like we have on the Discord allows us to answer a ton of questions and hopefully give you the right answer. That was not even close to a Hank Hill impersonation. I wasn't even trying. I can do "damn it, Bobby," but that's about it for Hank Hill. That's all I got. I might, if I worked at it, I might be able to do better, but that was not even me attempting that. Anyway, nor would Hank Hill ever drink hard cider. That's a little bit closer, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, try too hard at any kind of voice and you lose it. That boy ain't right. Yeah, there's something I don't have the right. There's something I don't got anyway. Let's join the chat. Wow, there's a surprising number of you that stuck around. Hold on, let's say hi.
Thank you. I was trying to figure out if you were Texas or Japan tonight.
I'm avoiding work this month.
Howdy.
Oh, Joshua.
Hi, Josh.
Hey,
Joshua.
Josh. Hello.
Hello.
Everyone, Josh is here.
Yeah, you
Don't tell.
No more incriminating discussions. Josh is here now. All right, so our Discord friends are here, so we will answer your questions live on YouTube if you have them. The best way to do that is type question in your chat and just go into it. Just say the word question, though, or at Ham Radio Crash Course. That way I can see it on my handy-dandy little chat monitor now. But we like to first go to the Discord and say hello to any of our newcomers. So if you are to the Discord for the first time, we'd love it if you took an opportunity to say hi. And if you have a question, we will take your questions first. So you get a little bit of priority, if that makes sense. So is there anybody here for the first time that'd like to say hi or ask a question? We'd love to take it now.
Not exactly new, but I think this is the first time I've been in the after chat. Travis, K5ABN.
Hey, Travis, you are loud and clear. By the way, if anybody's new to the Discord, you do need to go to the Discord settings and set a mic and your hearing, and then bind a PTT button. We treat this like a repeater, so make sure you got a PTT button. Okay, Trav, I think it was. Go ahead, bud. How's it going?
Good. I was gonna say, I don't know if you've seen my little message that I put with the watt meter and control box, but because you couldn't tell what it was earlier or not.
I don't know that I saw it. If it was on the live stream, sometimes that chat can be a little fast and furious. What was your watt meter and power supply?
It wasn't watt. It was rotor control and my watt meter.
Got it.
And the watt meter's at MFJ 870. I put a little text that said because you couldn't tell what it was earlier.
Yeah. No, I got it. Yeah, but okay. I gotcha. Do you have a question for us or anything along those lines?
Nah, I was just talking to talk because no one else had keyed up.
Gotcha. All right. Well, appreciate you hanging out, and if anything comes along and you want to add your thoughts, just go ahead and do so. There was another person that I started to talk when Trav was also saying hi. So who was that?
That would have been me. I'm Debug, the one with the Dodge Charger. It's my first time in a voice stream, and since we have questions, I figured I'd ask what is your input on having a fully loaded mobile shack?
My input, like, do I like it, or what I think you should do or not do?
Yeah, just theory around it, application for it. Do you find it's got a spot to work in the world?
So absolutely. Hold on. Let me grab something here. I think my audio might be a little low. No, okay. I was just talking quiet. So yeah, the short answer is of course. Right now with parks on the air, you can just drive to a park and activate. Right, you don't have to go sit at the picnic table. In fact, as Don in the chat, I know Don has a little setup like that. He is. I know a number of people who just are 100% sitting in their driver's seat, drive up, work the park, and skedaddle. Me personally, I'm a advocate of having a nice VHF, UHF radio, maybe something that can do APRS. APRS mobile is about one of the better use cases for APRS. And then have like an HF radio, second HF radio for doing HF mobile. In my case, a lot of people go with the Yaesu the ATOS antenna. I'm no different. I have an ATOS. It's worked fantastically for me. It continues to be a good performer. I have no real reason to upgrade from my Yaesu FT891 that I have for HF. I am currently using an ICOM 5100 for VHF UHF, and when the Kenwood radio comes out, the new one, I will likely be trying that. I'm a big fan of the Kenwood Mobile, so that's on my list as well. The only piece of advice, and in fact, I will pull up a website that everyone should go to if they don't already. So let me grab this. So if you go to, I don't even remember what it was, W something, but if you do mobile ham radio install. Oops. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just a recommendation, sort of, if can't afford like a ATOS or something, and want capability of 10 through 20, 17-foot whip with a mag mount, possibly.
17-foot whip with a mag mount, sure. And one of the great things that we have for mobile is simple ham sticks. Ham sticks are a fine way to go. They're not the best, but they work really great. Boy, I'm having a hard time finding this website that I normally go to for. What was that guy's website? He was a ham that just had like the best website for setting up.
You mean Shane? No.
No, the the website. Let me see if I can find it.
Hey, Josh.
Yo.
While you're looking for that, would you mind if I weigh in on this real quick?
For mobile? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so as far as an opinion on whether you should or should not have mobile, I say absolutely. Now, I'm in a particular situation where I travel a lot for work. I'm all over the United States. But just some of the advantages to having mobile in your vehicle, being able to do, not just 2 meter and 70 centimeter, but also HF. I find that occasionally I'll travel through an area where I have no cell service. What happens if I'm traveling through an area where I have no cell service and I break down and I don't know any of the local repeaters around there? It's a great way to be able to call for help. You can use HF, and when you're calling for help, you don't have to talk to somebody local. You just need to talk to somebody that can get to a telephone that you can give them your location.
Sure.
And then there's all kinds of good reasons. I'm not going to go off the deep end here on my conspiracy theories, but, there is such a thing as a Carrington event. It's happened in the past and it's coming up again. And when we lose our electronics, your cell phone doesn't work, your vehicle won't start. It's always a good idea to have a way to contact somebody. So I am a big fan of radios in the mobile, short range repeaters and HF. Absolutely love it. And I had another point I was going to make, but I think Josh found what he's after, and
I did.
And my mind is like a lazy Susan. When it comes back around, I'll pipe back in.
All right. No, yeah, good points all around. A number of people have already added a ton. Like, who was it? Off-Grid Pete, he's the guy who had the Maestro in his Jeep. Makes a great point. When you operate mobile, you can go to an area with a low noise floor and make a ton of contacts that way. I will second or add to the statement of mobile VHF, UHF. They're generally 50-watt radios, and that's going to be way better than HTs in almost any situation. So they're going to perform much, much better, particularly in like hitting potentially a far-off repeater or just working simplex effectively. So yeah, there's not really any bad reasons you wouldn't want a mobile radio in your vehicle. There's only upsides. And for those of you that live in an area that there's not a lot of radio activity, mobile's going to be better for you again because it's 50 watts. It's going to allow you to do a lot better. So yeah. All right. Was there somebody else who wanted to add?
Well, I was just going to follow that up with that's why I dove into mobile, and that car has a configuration of 160 to 800 megahertz, and it will configure into any of those bands except for 220 and 900.
That's pretty amazing. What were some of your difficulties in the antenna setup? What did you kind of have to go through to do all that?
There was a paper study, basically napkin math, that I did to determine the interference patterns that each antenna was going to run into. So things like the overlapping VHF and UHF, there's one on the front, there's one on the back. The HF sits between the middle. There's a CB on the other side. GMRS is up top on the front side of the bar, and commercial is in the back. So there's metal planes to separate everything. And while I can't run every radio at high power, I can get 50% power, which is still pretty good with 7 antennas on the system.
Indeed, yeah. I like the thought. You should probably make a video, or if you haven't already. If you did, drop the link in the Discord in the hashtag live-streams chat so people can take a look. But I think a lot of people would like to know like your setup, what you did, and the way you went. So make sure you do something like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's something that I haven't fully documented yet, but I'm thinking about releasing documentation, releasing all the photos, most of the parts lists, and that way if somebody wants to build one, they can build it from that list.
Yeah, you should. I think that'll be a value to the amateur radio community. So thanks for sharing all that with us today. Appreciate it. All right. Anybody else out here for the first time like to say hi or ask a question?
Hi, Josh.
I got a 912. Go for it.
So I recently started studying for my general because I got my technician back on October 25th. With my current living situation, I'm not able to set up an actual like permanent stay antenna, and I haven't really gotten into what I would consider like the big boy antenna, or not antenna, the radios. So things that can actually hit the higher meters, mainly because I'm now studying for my general. What would your recommendation be, mainly because I'm going to have to be looking in more of the travel-friendly kind of radios?
We talking rollerboard suitcase on an airplane travel or vehicle travel? What are we talking?
Something that I can pack into a Ford Fusion, really. Mainly, I'm looking kind of like suitcase kind of travel, if at worst, but more of. I've been looking at like the IC705, and I started looking at the IC710 at the exact same time. So I was kind of thinking, which way should I probably be leaning?
Okay. So are we talking you want to be a mobile station, or you want to be able to take the equipment inside a home? What are your goals? And are you trying to do just VHF, UHF? Are you trying to do parks on the air? Where are you going with this?
Don't forget about the budget.
We'll get there.
I'm very aware of the budget because I was looking at the price tags on a lot of these radios. Mainly because I want to be able to use them in a home situation, but I also can't really set up a long stay antenna because I'm renting out of a unit. So until I can actually get somewhere permanent, I need something that I would like to take with me if possible.
Yeah, so you're in a lot of ways, a mobile station would solve a lot of this because you could just operate from the car. When you wanted to operate, you just back the car up into a spot where it's free and open, and play radio that way, or drive to a Parks on the Air location. But if you're talking about truly portable, meaning you're going to carry everything in and out of the home, set up an antenna, this, that, and the other. Now is the question, the most important one, is what is your budget?
Well, I know my budget's probably more going to be kind of capping out around the 1,500 range, mainly because I need to be able to start saving towards it. This is more of just trying to get a ballpark because I want to have an idea, because I know I'm going to be pinching out a pretty penny for all of this. I know for a radio that I want in my car, I want an FT500, I believe. Yeah, FT500, FTM 500. But for doing like the higher bands, I wanted to do something more along the lines of like a QRP kind of radio, but I know it's lower wattage, so
how much money?
Kind of same with that.
Budget? 1,500, no higher, right? All in 1,500.
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say recommendation myself somewhat would be possibly waiting for the new Yaesu FT1X or FTX1F or whatever it is.
Yeah. But that's like going to be the budget. That's going to be the whole budget. So, I mean, that is a thought. You just go with the Yaesu. The Yaesu has an internal battery, right? Whatever money you have left over against that 1,500, build yourself an end-fed half-wave, and that's it. Get on the air. There you go. It fits in a backpack, no problem. So you could do the same thing with a KX2, 705, G90 from Shegu, although with that radio, you're going to need a external battery. The G90 is probably going to be the cheaper option. You're going to have higher output, but it's also bigger and heavier. You have pretty much any direction you'd want to go. If you want to talk antennas, end-fed half-wave is going to be a big recommendation. Since you're talking QRP, K6ARK has QRP of kits for end-feds. A lot of the end-fed half-wave kits you see from like Coffee and Ham Radio and KM4ACK are going to be all the way good to like 100-watt radio, which is just added size and bulk that you might not need if you're truly planning to be QRP, but there's nothing wrong with them. They're all really, really good. DX Commander is going to get mentioned. DX Commanders are great. The downside of the DX Commander, it's not really a downside, it's just the practical reality of it. It takes a little bit longer to set up, and you're gonna spend a little bit more time tuning it to be effective on the air with it. But they're also great antennas. And if $1,500 is your budget, you can get yourself a G90, a really nice battery, like a 10, 12 amp hour battery, a DX Commander, and you're probably still going to be under $1,000, I'm guessing. Ben in the chat, Ben Heiser, recommends an 891. An 891 is a $607 radio. In fact, we got Black Friday coming up, so you might want to make your radio purchase decision based off of the discounts you find there. And you'll still be under $1,500 all in on an 891 build. Just keep in mind that these are portable radios, so they're not going to have some of the usability features that a full-size desktop-like radio will be, like a big old VFO, lots of buttons, control aspects like that. So just keep that in mind, but it sounds like you want to remain portable. So yeah, you really should just start watching videos on all these radios to kind of determine the one that you think kind of scratches the itches you got, if you will.
Yeah, I know one of the radios I was looking at was a X6200, because I saw that it had the integrated battery. It fell within the price range as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the 6100 and the 6200 have this AM station bleed over thing that kind of bothers me. If you're going with a multi-band long wire antenna, you may be impacted by that. Just keep that in mind. You should probably look up what that is. You generally will need an inline bandpass filter to take care of that, and it's like a $40 purchase off of Amazon, so it's not a big deal. It's just one more thing you have to worry about. Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, I got
Josh,
mic issues?
Yep, you're
Okay, hold on.
buzzing again.
Oh, hold on. 1 second.
Yeah, I was fixing to say the same thing. I was actually going through checking stuff on my end, to be honest.
I always do that.
Oh, it's still there.
I just assumed it was Frank.
No, I was just transition. Frank, you're transitioning. Sure. Yeah. Hi, Frank.
How's that? Is it better?
Better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah, we have found the problem. We know how to fix it now. So good.
I did want to throw something out real quick. You mentioned the 6200.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw this out. The X in the beginning stands for experimental, and those are experimental radios, meaning that they throw a radio out and they try to fix things on the backside in firmware. If you're new to HF, you might want to go with one of the a Yaesu or ICOM, Kenwood, something that has a little bit more solid track record until you become more agile and used to some of the ups and downs of operating HF.
Okay. I'll keep.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that the X actually meant experimental.
He's
so
joking.
That's something.
I know, but it is. I made that up. But
I mean, it's fair though.
But my point is that as a new operator, there's a lot of things that'll get thrown at you, and the one thing that becomes discouraging as a new operator is when you start messing with equipment issues. So if you focus on a radio that is more tried and true, something where they work the bugs out. The Japanese manufacturing model is a lot different than the Chinese manufacturing model, and those radios are just rock solid. All of the brands, they're good radios.
Okay.
Like a G90 would be better over the other ones, I think, probably.
Well, then the other ones, you talking like the 705 or the KX2? No way. I'd rather have 10 watts at a KX2 or 705.
I was talking about like the 6100 or 6200 of the same brand.
Sure. I agree. I agree with you on that. But also the size is a factor. The G90 is larger than the 6200 to a decent degree. So, keep that in mind. Those are all kinds of, I think, really applicable answers to your question. So, when you decide, come back and let us know. Maybe it'll be next week or the following week after Black Friday.
Hey, Josh.
To find.
Cool. All right. Somebody said, hey, Josh. Who's that?
Yeah, that was me. I remembered the other thing that I wanted to mention real quick. And I know you probably already know this, but let me just throw that out there because there's a lot of people that, do dumb things. I want to make sure it gets said. If you do the 17-foot whip on a mag mount on your vehicle, do not try to drive with the 17-foot whip extended.
Of course. Yes.
That is how you ham harder.
Yeah. Everybody should go look up who was it, Callum, who put like a 72-foot whip on his wagon.
Did you see T.O.'s video?
I didn't know.
Yeah, he put a pretty much that size mast on the back of his truck and actually drove around White Sands with it connected to one of the car antennas and was making contacts the whole time for POTA.
I mean, why not? You can. Just, keep in mind, you can take that sucker out pretty hardcore if you...
Yeah, that was 33 feet up from the truck, from the bed of the truck.
Yeah, you can do like an inverted L where you go up a mast and then back down to the front of your bumper or something like that and get the full 80 meters out of it or something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. All right. Anybody else out here for the first time that'd like to say hi or ask a question? Go for it.
Yeah, I know I'm new to ham, and
what's up?
I want to get into a little bit of everything, and I know I've seen some of your recent videos, or I guess they're not recent. Some of your videos you talked about that like a do-everything radio is probably not the best solution for like a pace plan, But, I started thinking about it. I mean, what if you just doubled up, do everything radios, or tripled up, do everything radios, and then you have, HF, VHF, UHF capabilities and, every step of your base plan, or at least your, contingency and emergency plans. And then if you had a recommendation for something like that, I know, like I said, I know you said you're not a huge fan of the do-alls, but rather have one of each that does it really well. But yeah, just something I was thinking about.
Of course, yeah. If you bought 3 all-in-one radios, then you have 3 times the failure acceptability, right? Sure, of course. The other point that I made on that video is that a lot of the all-in-one radios, they are just okay at receiver quality, right? So if you took a FT891 and compared it to an FT857, not only is 891 a newer radio, I would argue that the receiver is more sensitive, better for you in that sense, right? So, that's an example of it. Recommendations all come down to one thing, and you know what it is. What's your budget?
Not crazy, but not,
Nah, give me a number.
Super dumb cheap.
Give me a number. Give me a number. Give me a do not go beyond number.
1,500. I can't remember who said that, but I think that's a pretty solid range that a lot of people can afford that wouldn't break the bank. I mean, of course, if we're talking about for a triple layered pace plan, you can 1,500 that 3 times, but yeah, let's say 1,500.
So that's 1,500 for a VHF, UHF, and HF radio, or you're looking for what?
Yes, correct, for a tri-band.
Okay, so you got a couple of options. Just an all-in-one, that's the most recent all-in-one. If you must go all-in-one territory, is the 7100. We'll do it. If you are going to need multiples, then you might look at the Yaesu 710 or an 891 for HF. And then you can pretty much pick any VHF, UHF radio that would be of interest to you. I like the basic features and the performance of the IC 2730. That's kind of like my usual recommended VHF, UHF radio for people that are starting out, because it's just dead simple and it works really easily. So other VHF, UHF radios, Yaesu's dropping they've already got 3. I just saw the boxes of them at HRO on Friday. I couldn't stay long enough to shoot a video with them, but they've got all these radios that are available now that are coming out. And I haven't seen any reviews for them yet, but they seem to all be pretty good. So you might want to take a look at those as well. Yeah, Black Friday is going to be a big deal. We may go live on Black Friday. I haven't decided yet, just to talk about some of the hot deals that are available. But yeah, literally the world is your oyster at $1,500. You should be able to find a pretty decent HF radio and a decent VHF, UHF mobile, or maybe a HT instead of a mobile. That's going to be kind of up to what you think you need, right?
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I appreciate all the content. Bought what is it, the VRN76 from your video, and really enjoying that HT. So, cool. But yeah, appreciate it, and I'll probably be back in this Discord again. Thanks for the answer.
All right, excellent. Appreciate you coming out. Anybody else out here for the first time that'd like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
Hey, Josh. WWB802.
I'll go with the hey, Josh, and then we'll come back to the call sign. Go for it. Hey, Josh was first, and then we'll come back around. Go for it.
Hey, Josh, this is Paul. Just got my license, last week. Just curious, can you FT8 on tech, or do you have to get your general first?
Yeah, what did we all line up on that? So 10 meter. I have heard Gordo say yes, right? Yes, they can FT8?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So there you go. You actually, this is the time. Like if you wanted to get into Parks on the Air and you wanted to do FT8 things, this is the time to get on 10 meters.
So, all right. I appreciate it.
Very good. All right. And then who was the call sign? Coming back to the call sign.
WWB802, Larry.
Hey, what's up, Larry? You got it, man. Go ahead.
I was just wanted to come on the air to say hi, and 1 second.
Shaq and Greg with a super chat. $20. I'm new to radio.
Wow, $20 a super chat, man.
But Shaq and Greg isn't new to radio. N8YO says learn CW first. Can you explain what CW? Yeah, continuous wave, right? CW. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's basically just an oscillating tone, right? And you're either transmitting that oscillating tone or you're not transmitting it, and that's it. In the form of then taking those tones in the form of dits and DAWs, or dots and dashes, and using that to send Morse code, international Morse code. That's it. It's just Morse code. But Shaq and Greg, come on. What do you? By the way, thank you for the super chat. Happy holidays to you, buddy. But yeah. Okay, going back to the last caller. Go ahead, caller. What's your
I guess
question?
that would be me.
Yes. What's your question?
I have a question. I've been using my little Motorola XPR 6550 for over a year. I've had it on the GMRS, and I'm just now getting ready to program it up for a 70 centimeter analog and DMR, and I wasn't used to programming DMR repeaters, and I don't want to use a sample code plug because it doesn't have the matching serial number. So I just want to how can I program said DMR repeaters and anything like that. So
does anybody have a 6550?
Yeah, I do. I have 3 of them. Yeah, they're easy enough to program. DMR's piece of cake to program in. Any deep dive questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord.
10-4.
Yeah, so I think the answer to your question is yes. Somebody asked for a low budget FT8 rig. So probably the lowest budget one that you're going to get for FT8 things is the QRP Labs. That's my opinion. The most easy to use and probably the least expensive from a functional standpoint, right? Like a true SDX will do FT8, roughly the same price. It'll do more than that, but the QDX is I think, better performer on FT8. So there's that question. All right. In fact, let me just pull that up because I know people might not. Yeah, so if you go to QRP Labs and you go to QDX, they're saying $69. Realistically, you got to get a case and some other add-ons, and if you want, you can pay to have it built, which if you're not a kit builder, this is a great option, and so that will run you, I think, $130. So you add $45 to that, and go with the low band. So you're going to add 90 cents to get you, sorry, the higher frequencies, lower bands, if you will. That'll take you 20, 17, 15, 12, 11, and 10, and you're looking for 10. So all in, you're, I don't know, what is that? $104 plus shipping and taxes and everything. You'll be out the door for, we got to include the closure, so that's $20. And yeah, so you'll be like $140 shipped or something like that. And it's a real good one. It just takes a USB in the back and you give it 12 volts DC connected to your antenna. That's it. Good stuff. All right. Anybody else out there first time here on the Discord that would like to say hi or ask a question? Go ahead.
Question about that radio, the QRP Labs one.
Mm-hmm.
It's only digital, right? And doesn't have any like tuner or any of that good stuff.
Correct. And it not only is it only digital, it's only FSK. So it's only going to work with JS8 call and FT8. It's designed for that. So it's not going to do like PSK or Hell Scriber or anything like that.
Okay, I was just wondering because I've been thinking and trying to find some way to get another that's also voice, does digital and all that good stuff, that has tuner that's not going to run just a whole bunch.
You don't really need a tuner. So straight up, you don't really need a tuner. You've mentioned it a couple of times. You don't really need one if you build yourself a resonant antenna like a dipole or an end-fed half wave. You will not need a tuner.
Well, it's just one of my preferences is
Sure.
having tuner built in too.
Yeah, so that's going to limit you somewhat. You're probably going to end up with an inexpensive QRP radio that doesn't have a tuner, and then have to have like an external sidecar, because the ones that have internal tuners are going to be a little bit more expensive. It sounds like you're aiming for a G90 though. G90 has a really good internal tuner.
Okay, that's what I thought and expected. Just wanted to make sure that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
Save a little bit of money to get yourself a digi-rig, though. So I echo TH's state. G90 with a digi-rig. You want the digi-rig. It makes life a lot easier. Somebody said, what kind of antenna would you put? What antenna? There it is. What about an antenna for that QDX? So if you're talking 10 meters, a 10-meter dipole is small. Build yourself a 10-meter dipole. Monoband 10-meter. Get it, it'll be nice and wide. You might even be able to pick up some of single sideband if you were to use a single sideband radio as far as like the frequency space. So I would just go with a dipole if you're building it, yourself. All right. Who's next? Here for the first time, like to say hi or ask a question. Go ahead.
I'll say hi.
Hello. Who was that? Sorry, I didn't see you.
That was
1K. Got it. Oh,
yep,
sorry.
1K.
Well, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. You have a question, or are you just saying hi?
Saying hi, and I have kind of a question. I just got my general about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm kind of super nerdy, really into this, love learning. And the biggest thing about this ham thing, it seems like there is so many different avenues that the chance for learning is endless.
Oh, yeah.
So one of my big things is I see these guys rattling off everybody's call signs. How long does it take before you start to get where you can hear somebody's call sign and that's their name?
So it would depend on the person. Every individual is going to be different. I myself, I don't remember call signs to names that well. Like I almost have to know the person like physically. But with that said, if you do a lot of parks on the air activations, you will hear the same call signs over and over again. Or out here, we have a lot of SOTA activators that are out there all the time. And so like Lorraine is out there all the time. You hear her all the time, and her husband. So you start to pick up call signs like that. But even then, it's like, yeah, where's Kate, Hemorrhoida Tube? Never. Yeah, the truth is you don't really, right? You will remember a name to a call sign, but they're not always going to be just locked in your brain like that.
I wasn't saying never for this question.
Yeah, well, I took it that way.
Not at all. I was responding to a separate chat in the chat.
Chat in the chat. Appreciate it. All right, well, 1K sender there. Yeah, appreciate
it. Thank you. And along with that, how to get over mic fright? Is there anybody out there? Are there any NAT stations or whatever that you can get into that are like teach you, hey, you didn't do this right, this is how you should do this, versus you get out there and you get the sad ham?
So I don't see a lot of sad hams out there, to be honest. I think that's kind of a fake news story. It happens, but I think people also jump to offense a little too quick as well these days. So a lot of people, when they're instructing others, they might not do it in a way that like is a teacher would have done it in high school for you. They're going to be a little bit more straight to the point. I don't know of any nets that work on training people to get over mic fright. I do know that just talking on the repeater was how I developed radio skills, and I got plenty of tips and advice on what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong throughout the years of doing that, and you'll all just pick it up over time. There's usually no problem and just learn by doing in that case, from my point of view. I think, who was it? Somebody's going to say something. Great man.
Yeah, start a YouTube channel. That's how I got over my mic fright.
That's a different kind of mic fright, I think, but I hear what you're saying.
So basically, suck it up, buttercup.
Well, no, you learn from doing, right? Yeah.
Well, there's that, and the advice that I was given years ago is to listen.
Yes.
So get on, get your radio out, tune it and just listen to other people and how they're communicating. And what you'll find is there's a ton of different styles. And pick one that feels good to you. And then if you do hear somebody complaining about what you're doing, after you've listened enough and you know that other people are doing the same thing, just ignore those people that complain.
Right.
It's really is about it's about like listening and getting the confidence to do what you hear everybody else doing.
Come to Josh's after chat and talk in here.
Yeah, keep in mind too that every repeater might have a slightly different culture. Every net is run a little bit differently, so that's a fantastic point from Dawn, that you just do what that net does. And if you listen to the people checking in, if you do exactly like they do, then you're not going to have a problem. So that's been my experience.
Another thing that I was thinking about too is to like go to something like the YL system nets. That's what they're called. And again, don't get on them. Just listen to them because they go for hours. But listen to them and listen to how they're communicating and what they're doing. They're generally, they'll say you're up and all of this other stuff. If you listen to it long enough, you'll figure out what it is they're doing. And then after you do that, then you can join their net and talk and talk through them and work. Basically what you're doing there is you're working other states, and other people will want to work you for your contact for your state. So but just in doing that brief exchange and getting used to doing that and talking to those guys, when you know that, okay, these are the only things I really need to relay to them, you'll get a little bit over it too. But there's, I'm not sure what else you can do, but those are things that they told me was basically just listen and see what other people are doing.
So real quick, is it the fear of being on the mic, or is it the fear of not knowing what to say?
The fear of not knowing how to reply correctly.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to come in just in time and listening. You'll understand or learn a cadence that people do. I would suggest, though, from a getting on any kind of fear of getting on the mic, is to go to a POTA activation, because you are the person of interest at that point, and you'll find that you'll get over that pretty quickly, and you'll develop a style and a rhythm, and people are wanting to connect to you, so nobody's going to give you a hard time.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Smoking point. All right.
Another thing is,
go ahead.
Another thing is, you just gotta realize that there are some sad hams out there, but as a general rule, most of your ham radio operators are, they love the hobby and they're willing and wanting to help someone. Not everybody phrases things the way you would like them to be phrased, but they're not out there to chastise you. They're not out there to chase you away. They are out there to help you, and don't take anything that's said, as an insult. Take it as constructive criticism. And I've in my travels, I've been to some areas where you do have a few of the sad hams out there. They don't want you on their system, they don't know you. Some people won't come back to you because they're not familiar with the call sign. But as a general rule, most hams are very happy, very willing to help, and very understanding. And, if you don't do it exactly the same way they do, you're going to be okay.
Sure. Well said. All right.
I have a suggestion.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I got my general this year, so feel like I'm experiencing some of the learning curve that you are. And what thing I've been doing is I write down some of the key points I want to make sure I have top of mind when I'm making a QSO. So, just so if you have something to visually look at, I've personally found that helpful. So if you want to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, write down a typical information exchange. So, what your radio is. It might be easier to just write it down. Sometimes the act of writing it will embed it in your brain really well. What antenna you're using, all those little things. You could just have them written down on some kind of piece of paper, just a note on your phone or on your computer as a FYI. But right on, good question. I hope that helped.
Yeah, and hams love to talk about radios, as you can tell.
Yep. All right, got a couple of questions. So Peachy Gaming is in the voice chat. So I think we got the question without any problem. Hopefully that helped, and you can talk to Frank for more information. This is from TechMD. Not a question, but I want to say thank you for the license class videos. Well, you're welcome. Hopefully when I get some free time here, hopefully next week with some time off from work due to Thanksgiving or the holiday break, I can cram out the general one that I've been needing to get done for months now. But they passed their online test today and back into the land of active, also an LICW club member. So congratulations. That's great. Let's see. There was another one down here. So Interstellar Starman asked question, where is the next place you will make rare POTA activation, a.k.a. New York City? I don't know, because I don't necessarily hunt for rare POTAs. I just happen to be going to New York with my family. My wife planned a trip, and when you have the opportunity, go for it. And that's exactly what we did for that one. And it was challenging, but we did end up getting the African Burial Monument activated, which was a difficult one. So I'm glad we got that done. Gray Man, can I use FT8 on 11 meters? I don't think legally. But hey, who knows? Maybe something like that will change in the future. Also, not a lot of CBs are cat controlled. You might only be able to do audio in out, so you'd have to manually book it. But yeah. Oh, somebody noticed my massage hook. Yeah, I really screwed up my right shoulder. It's been really bad for weeks and months now. So I keep hammering on it. And of course, that live stream didn't help when I was sitting in front of the radio for 8 hours. But
As far as FT8 on 11 meters go, I think the Smoking Ape would know how to do that, right?
Yep. He just keys down the mic and speaks in FT8 though when he's on CB.
Yeah. There
he
you go.
He doesn't need to do any computers or anything like that.
But I don't think the Smoking Ape has a CB license.
Yeah, I don't think he has a CB license either.
I heard the FCC revoked his CB license.
Yeah. So Windmill 97, Josh. Oh, this is a tough one. What is your favorite POTA transceiver these days? Whew. It really depends on what the outing is. So at Crystal Cove Beach, the one that I dropped this week, it was my Jerry box, right? My ICOM 7100, and I was able to just walk that up the stairs to the little stoop that I was on, and that worked great. 100 watts generally helps. You get done a lot faster, but sometimes I'll only be backpack portable. And so for those, 705 is fine because I can get working on FT8 pretty easily with the 705. And if I'm like truly backpack, like going on a backpack trip with like Adam or something, then I oftentimes will take the KX2 because I need something small. So that's kind of been my three go-tos. I do have that Lab 599 QRP station with the 50-watt amplifier and tuner. That was fantastic. That did great. Ran that off the back of my truck this year on running. What antenna was I using? I was using the Alpha Antenna's dipole thing. His hex. What did he call it? Hex antenna. Hex antenna. That worked great. That was a cool little unit, and that works really well. Interfaces really well with solar. Very expensive, right? So some of these radios are going to be way more expensive than others. But yeah, it's really the trip. The trip leads to which radios I take out more than anything. So good question. Oh, hey, so another $20.
That's a good point.
Super chat from Jeff. My name's Jeff. I have an FTDX10. What would be a good UHF VHF companion of approximate equal quality? The 9700, the ICOM 9700. Likely, if you really want like single sideband capable 100 watt base station type quality, the 9700 is pretty much the only game in town for 2 meters and 70 centimeters. From my point of view.
If you want a little older of a rig, the 991 Alpha would be a good contender too.
991 Alpha is all band, including VHF, UHF, so that would work too. Yeah. Your call on that, Jeff, on how you'd want to run that. But I don't know, man. You might want to go hands-on with the 9700. It's actually a pretty sweet radio. I'm thinking about getting one, but maybe a future thing.
You have yet another donation.
I saw that. Thank you. From Sega. Love what you do, man. $5. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Who remembers the old Genesis startup? That was my favorite. All right.
Old. I still have one, Josh.
I do too. I said who remembers?
Yeah, I have one too.
Yeah. I have a original Nintendo. I had a Super Nintendo. That was one of the worst decisions I ever made. I actually sold my Super Nintendo with my copy of Earthbound, with the full guide. I had the big box Earthbound. Like, I still kick myself thinking about selling that. I should have never, ever sold that. All right. Question on YouTube, then we'll come back to Discord. The Evolve laptop running Windows. I connect my ICOM 7200, but it does not show as a COM port in Device Manager. Do I need to load a drive? Yeah. Yeah. In fact, the ICOM says you must load the driver before you even connect the 7200 or any ICOM radio to your laptop. So I would immediately cease all operation of the radio, disconnect it, maybe even restart the computer, and then load the driver. Yes.
And when you have those drivers on there and you plug a Yaesu in, it'll work just fine.
Yeah. They're pretty similar. So
yeah, cool. They're the same.
So anybody else wants to say hi or ask a question on the Discord? Go ahead. First timers.
About the DMR stuff. I'm also getting another XPR a 4550 to set up as a base station, and what's the best Motorola XPR mobile I can use, like a 4550 or a 5550 or something like that,
I have a feeling you're going to be fast friends with Frank, because I'm going straight to him with the answer. Go ahead, Frank.
The 4550 is an absolutely fantastic radio. It's actually one of the radios in that picture that I submitted for tonight's little show and tell. It's a fantastic radio. It holds a lot of information, and you can even hook up a GPS dongle to it and do quasi-related APRS via DMR. I know, Mike just fainted in his chair.
Yeah, I know some groups don't allow GPS use. Like, for example, the closest group from where I am doesn't allow a GPS on their repeaters and stuff like that.
Okay, well, the GPS is an optional feature. You don't have to have it. The port's there and ready to go. All you have to do is hook it up. But I just pinged you in the live stream chat, so just shoot me a message, and the
new chat
Frank
message.
Quasi Motorola. Yeah, that's a good name, Sean.
And the GPS doesn't interact with the repeater. Saying that.
Is that Dawn or me?
I think that's Dawn.
10-4.
Yeah.
Dawn's
but the GPS is to facilitate APRS, which shouldn't go out of a repeater anyway. So.
Okay.
GPS. Dawn, we'll talk later about that.
Hello.
What's with this new Grid Tracker 2 they got out now? But I got a hello. Go ahead. Hello.
Oh, hey.
Toast Cat.
Thanks for your channel and everything. Yeah, I really enjoy it because I'm trying to study telecoms after I finish my education right now. It's honestly been pretty amusing, and it kind of like put me a push. But I have like one important question, so.
Okay, go ahead.
How do I get a when I grow up? How do I get a beautiful beard like yours, sir?
Just don't shave. Stop shaving.
Don't shave. Yeah, I've been doing that. Like my small beard, I shape it in a good direction, and it just looks good. But yours is the one I'm looking for, dude. You have that like white outline on the what's called underside.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
You got old.
Yeah, but like,
Touch of
how does it
gray.
work together? You get me? It's like, why is it all of it white? Why is it just that part? It
Because I'm
makes it
not
so good.
I'm not all the way old. I'm just getting old. It will go all the way white at some point, I assume.
Nah, dude, you look like you're 19.
No, shut up. You're too kind. So this is the month, right? It's no shave November. Just stop shaving. That's the.
Yeah, everybody, stop shaving. Or else.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
But
Thank you, I'm done.
Tell you the last time I did shave.
what
Okay,
happened?
buddy. I'm gonna allow it this time, okay?
But yeah, I don't really have any beard tips. I just started growing it when I was when I met my wife. She was like, "You should grow a beard," and I went, "Yes, ma'am. Whatever you say," and that was it. That's how that works. Cool.
Well, you
Thank
talk
you.
to your wife like she's a drill sergeant, sir.
Like a what?
Like a drill sergeant.
Well, you haven't met my wife.
You need to listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
She's probably like my brother's wife. She's like tall and scary.
My wife is short and intimidating, I'd say. So thank you, though.
Nice,
Appreciate that.
Josh.
She's incredibly nice, but she's also incredibly intimidating. Everybody says that. She's quite intimidating. So.
Well, that's like the that's the actual good wife you want, like intimidating but nice in the inside. You get me? She can like hold her own.
Oh yeah, that's my wife. She is that to a T. But right on.
Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. All right, let's see if there's another round of questions. Otherwise, I'm going to say hi to my YouTube friends out here. So anybody here for? Well, let's just open it up. Any questions about anything? Maybe the topic we covered tonight. Go for it. Anybody?
This is Katie, KT080R.
Hey, Katie, go for it.
I had a question. Back to the Evo. We got one, and I'm wondering if anybody else is having any problems with the power button issue that we've seen on Reddit posts and things like that.
I don't even know about this. What's the problem you're facing?
I'll hand it over to my husband. He knows a little bit more about that.
Sure.
Hey, this is am I doing this right? This is KD9WXK. Sorry, we're trying to figure it out because we never really used Discord like this on phone.
Oh, you're good.
Anyways, we found that when you turn it on, sometimes it'll turn on, start booting up, and like 10 seconds later shut off, and without touching it again, it'll turn back on, and like the caps lock and all those other like lock keys and stuff, they'll blink and flicker all sorts of random ways when it goes to boot up. And we got it right from Micro Center like that, and it just like seemed real flaky. If you let it set for a while, it'll actually start up okay. But if it goes to restart or anything after it's been on for like a few hours or a day or so, then it goes right back into that where it gets like stuck in a boot loop, almost like I feel like the power button is in the keyboard or something, and it's almost like part of the circuitry is like stuck. I don't know.
Well, but if you've already started it, the power button's job is over, and that's not like a physical on-off switch. So you wouldn't be like breaking a circuit or anything like that by pushing it again. So it sounds like you have some kind of flaky connections somewhere else. I wouldn't even think it's related to the power switch. How long have you had it?
Too long to return it.
Oh.
I told her it'd be cheaper and easier for us just to buy another one because they're so cheap. But
yeah, you might want to consider that.
Yeah, because when we got it, it sat for like a couple weeks, I think, before we got to break into it, and it was actually my friend and I went to go get him, and we live in Indiana. We went to go and get some, but. Whenever
Shout out to N9YOU, I know he's listening.
Yeah, but to not take long, but basically I wound up telling him I would take the bad one and let him play around with the good one, and he's gotten FT8 and everything working on the good one now. So I think I found one video where somebody had the same issue and they had to replace was it compute board or if it was the keyboard or something to fix it. I found a video of it on YouTube. Somebody else having the same issue.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you should probably go check that out. But yeah, so TH always has had a good comment. A lot of typical IT troubleshooting type stuff is, if you haven't, you might need to update the BIOS, make sure your drivers are in place, because if you're running into this problem before Windows loads, it's not a Windows problem, right? It's a flaky startup process or something along the post lines is getting screwed up. So you might want to look into BIOS. But yeah, go ahead, Grayman, go for it.
Oh, you know what I'm going to say, right?
Full factory reset.
Yeah. No, actually, though, normally I would say that, but this does sound like a power-related issue if it's only doing it after it's been on for a period of time in running it. I'm sorry, a heat-related issue, and you've probably got a flaky component in there that is going south after it's been energized for a while. Is what it sounds like to me, as a professional IT engineer.
Yeah,
and
I do have a word of warning. If you do a full factory reset on some of the Maestros, they don't have a what do you call that? Like a backup saved on the hard drive.
Image.
Yeah, they don't have a backup image. So if you do a full factory reset, you may completely kill the Windows license and all of the other weird stuff they've loaded. So you should probably do that as a last call.
Yeah,
is it a Jankopotamus?
Yeah.
If you.
Oh, it will 100% wipe Windows exactly like you just said.
Yeah.
All your key and everything. It doesn't come with a Windows key.
It doesn't.
Just send it to Frank. The tank.
Don't send it to Frank. Okay, there you go. Hope that helps.
One other question for you guys. I was gonna wait for her to do hers, but it's related. So, have you guys ever looked at, or is anybody that you know ever considered getting one of the jumper laptops? It looks, from what I understand, I think it's basically just the Evolve 3, but it's like an aluminum chassis instead of the plastic body. So I wondered if it was actually like thermally better or anything like that. I think the quality, like the internals, they're all the same.
What is this called? It's just Jumper is the brand?
Yeah, I found it on Amazon, and it was kind of an interesting find. But I think almost all their computers are like Celerons, so they're all like 12-volt DC into them. But they do a lot of chassis stuff. Yeah.
Let me see this.
If you absolutely need a laptop, then yeah, there's a few of them out there. But believe me, if you get into the mini PCs, lots of those are 12 volts, and you can go up to as high as a Core i3, and it'll still be a 12-volt laptop or a mini PC.
You know what? I got a complaint here, so I'm going to drop a link to Amazon. You guys check this out. But I've got a complaint. If you post images of a laptop and you don't have a picture of all the I/O, meaning the right side and the left side, I do not enjoy you. So we got an image of the right side of the laptop here, and then another image of the right side of the laptop, and then the right side of the laptop. Again, there's no left side of the laptop, so I don't know what the power dongle is. I don't know if it's actually a coaxial dongle or if it's USB-C. Because if it's USB-C, I don't want it. I would rather have the coaxial that I can plug in 12-volt power into it. So it drives me nuts. I hate the.
Josh, there's 4 videos.
Play the video.
I'm sure someone posted that.
Oh, look, the video's on the right-hand side of the laptop.
Great laptop.
Wow.
It's all powered up. It's ready to go.
Also, the Amazon videos, people making videos on Amazon for like reviews
screen, which is really great.
Not
comes
very
with
high.
Windows 10.
They're horrible. I've looked at.
Just buy an Acer laptop. Trust me. Honestly, China has been making some good devices. Remember, the Chinese get a bad rap, but like they're really bad in mechanical machines, not electric. You get me?
Remember, we're looking for a 12-volt laptop.
Yeah, it's 12 volts specifically we're looking for.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, see
and
this...
there are criteria.
Oh.
If you.
I think it does.
From.
I think it has a coaxial plug.
Easy book is super.
It's a Jumper Easy book. All right, sorry, Don. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that most of the N30 or N3000, 4000, 5000, 6000 Celeron CPUs the N100s, N95s, and the N305 CPUs. Most of those are going to be 12 volt. Anything above that, if you're getting a Core i5 or Core i7, good luck getting a 12 volt.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. I'm going to drop the link for the Jumper laptop so you guys can check it out. I'm Don, I don't disagree that those little PCs are cool. If I'm going to get a laptop, I likely will get laptops. That's usually what I use for portable. I'm not going to drag out some kind of
if you saw what I did a video with what I took out to Huntsville. Mm-hmm. And in Huntsville, I took out one of those mini PCs with one of the portable screens, and it worked great. And you got a laptop. So I've gotten to where, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want, a specific processor, and I'm having trouble finding, just like you are with those laptops, there's so few of them out there that have the 12 volt in them, and when they do, it's a compromised system. And so I'm looking for if I get an N305, I know it's a 3.2 gigahertz 8-core processor at 12 volts. So I'm getting a whole lot more computer for a little bit of money compared to the laptops. And again, I totally respect that you want a laptop. That's not the issue. I'm having trouble finding the laptops with the processors that I want.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, okay. So somebody in the Discord, it's WCES846, says, question. Who is that? Are you in the voice chat? It's Mike. Mike, go ahead and ask your question. Oh. His question is on how to do Discord. So you got to turn on the PTT button in your settings. You got to hold down the PTT button to talk. So go into your
like what I'm doing here.
Yeah, open your iPhone settings and you got to turn that on. Under that, you got to have the PTT button active. All righty.
Also need to make sure he's not on desktop and he has to set a PTT button.
Well, he said he's on his iPhone, but
I'm on PC all.
I didn't know that.
So we're talking about Mike here. So he's saying he doesn't know how to do that. So you got to open up the settings in Discord. If somebody can tell him that's on iPhone, go ahead. Otherwise, or maybe DM him, or look it up on the internets. I haven't had to do that in so long. I don't really know what to tell you.
I have it if 30 seconds.
Okay.
Mike, you click on your icon at the bottom right corner. At the top right corner, click the gear icon, scroll all the way down to where it says voice, and set it for input mode to push to talk, and you'll be automatically set to go in the Discord.
There you go. Sounds easy. All right, let's take a bit of a break here because I think actually I'm going to try and get out of here at 9 o'clock. There's a bunch going. Apparently there's some kind of sleepover that's happening at my house today for my boys are having their friends over. And I still need to record a podcast with my wife because we weren't able to do it yesterday after the retirement party we went to, and boy, am I still tired from that. Oh my God! We got a number of our friends in the chat that I'd like to say hi to. Bill, Ham Radio Tectonics is in the house. You there, Bill?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, bud. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Josh. How you doing? Hey, everybody. It's Bill, Ham Radio Tectonics. Call sign K0WHW.
Yeah, what's been going on?
Work. And trying to figure out how to do this ham radio trailer series. Jason, Ham Radio 2.0 has been telling me, you got to do this, So I did it. It is my second best performer of a video, which means if I have any common sense, I will continue to do it, which I have stuff to do. I just don't know how to do it.
Right. Well, you generally just point the camera at the thing you want to show people, and then you start talking about it. I'm
going to give that a shot.
I'm being a
gonna
jerk,
be
but I'm
doing that.
kidding.
Yeah, no, I got you, Josh.
I know.
I found that amusing. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to do other videos as well. And but anyway, I'm going to get out of the way. That's what I'm doing, hanging out, watching all you guys, paying attention. And I'll see you guys later.
Thank you. So somebody tell me real quick how I turn off this stupid ding noise that happens on Grid Tracker. Now they got Grid Tracker 2 out here. I don't want the ding. I turned it off.
Audio
initially.
alerts.
Where's it under?
Audio alerts, and it should be the logging. Let me open micro.
Yeah, I got it working now.
Settings, audio alerts.
Thank you.
I'm in settings. I don't see audio.
Yeah,
alerts. Oh, there it is. I got it. Okay. CQ only has. Wait, no.
Frank.
Yeah.
When I joined the voice chat, Discord automatically alerted me to switch to push to talk.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
That's correct.
You're there.
Yeah, Frank. Did I ever tell you, Frank, that you have a nightingale voice? For real?
Okay.
I do? Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody said it's Frank.
The dragon.
Somebody said it's Frank there. Go for it, real quick.
What?
Somebody else was saying it's Frank there. It's not Toast. It was.
Oh yeah, that is, Frank is here. I think you Frank, or you his like twin brother.
I'm Frank.
Oh. Maybe you have an evil twin brother that says I'm Frank.
Well, Frank the Tank.
Yeah, that's him, all right.
This is Choo Choo Frank.
All right, I have it, but I don't see the. This is dumb. Why is it making me do a ding? I'll figure it out after. We'll just have to get used to it for right now. Anyway, moving on, continuing. Who's next? I think it is Gray Man.
It's Dawn.
Oh, it's Dawn. That's right. Go for it, Dawn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think since the last time we talked, I did release a video on the shack. I went in and walked through it and showed it, but of course that was, and you mentioned this in the thing, that was before the guys came out with the power. In fact, I think at that time they'd done part of the power and hooked it up, but they had not put the 220 circuits in. But the 220 circuits went in, and since then now they have foamed the inside. And by the way, that's how it's going to be. I'm not going to go through and do drywall, because drywall, I mean, you can do it up to a point, but you can't. The roof, you'd have to literally restructure the way the roof is set up in order to put drywall across the ceiling. Or to create a ceiling, you'd have to create a ceiling. It doesn't really have one. It has the pitch of the roof, and that's it. And I just don't want to. I'm perfectly fine with the foam.
Yeah.
But I want to ask a question. I'll probably wait until if we have some time after this, because I've got an issue with the shack that a number of people have told me about, and so I need to figure out how to do that, and it's almost along the lines of what you got to do YouTube videos.
Right on.
So, that Let's Look Inside was the one I released, and I did have a horrible experience. I had and Frank's already heard it, but I had a microburst in my backyard. I literally saw it. It came down and it created this like rolling burst of air that was headed towards the house, pushed the buddy hex over and broke some of the limbs.
Wow.
Or the spreaders. And now the mast itself is fine, but because I think it was cushioned by the spreaders. But Chris told me that, and he had me send him some pictures. And he said, "Oh yeah, it's just those little joints between the things." And he said those are $3 each. And so I think it's going to cost me about $25 to fix it. Of course, I don't really know how much work that's going to be, but I'll do it. That is a great antenna, and I need to get my big antenna up, the big hex beam up, but I don't really know. Like I'm not. I don't want to put up a tower. I was watching with great interest Callum doing the mass that he was doing. But after I've seen what he's gone through to get that working, we don't have those parts over here in the U.S. So I would have to order them, similar parts from UK, because our mass that he uses, or the stuff he uses for making masts out of, we don't have those kinds of parts here. They're made differently in the U.S. And so I don't see how I would get anywhere other than ordering from the UK, and that's just too much. So I've got a way in mind that I'm going to do it, but it's quite a compromise. I won't probably be more than about 10 feet off the ground.
Okay.
But, I'm just going to, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the doublet up, eventually, and do some other things. And but right now I'm spending so much time on the weekends just moving things into the shack and getting everything set up that I used to have, that it's going to be a while before I can really focus on the antennas.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll hear all about it as we go along here. So thanks, Don, for sharing your updates, and continue to post on your YouTubes. Yeah, go for it. What's the question?
Are you going to do the 4-square as well?
No, I'm not going to do a 4-square. I've got, well, actually, do I have the room for it? I don't think I have the room for it because of the all of the trees that would be in the way of actually putting the masts up. But I really wouldn't. What I'm looking at is a skyway or a sky loop. And Callum's not even thinking about a sky loop, but that's what I'm going to do, because I think I've got I've got enough trees that are high enough that would be the way to go.
Right on. All right. I got to keep moving because I do have to probably get out of here in a couple of minutes, or 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I think next is Frank. YouTube's Frank.
It is. And I did send you an image that I wanted you to queue up if you would be so kind. You had a question during your live stream that I couldn't really answer because I was mobile.
Yes.
About my setup.
Yeah, so I will... Hold on, let me get my Discord back over here.
And while you're doing that,
yes, I got
new video every Tuesday for quite a few weeks, and I just put out a video Thursday night about that long chat that Quirky James tagged us in over on Twitter. Quite an interesting program. All right, so that paper tape is from a Sage Emergency Activation Service encoder, and that's that gray box at the very top. If needs be, and not going to do it, but if needs be, I could pipe it into my soundboard if I had it set up. But I could send out weather alerts and emergency tests, that sort of stuff. The test, the old school test that went This is a test of the emergency alert system. If this were an actual emergency, pertinent, that stuff.
Okay.
So that's what that box does. The next two boxes down, the more tan boxes, those are what are called consolettes. Those are mobile radios inside a desk format type radio that you'd find mostly in fire stations or PDs or something up at the front desk, so that people can hear what's going on the fire radio without having to carry a handheld around everywhere within the station.
Comment on the consulate.
So like a secretary up front could hear what's going on the radio. So the top one's an older desk track, and the bottom one is a XTL 5000 consulate on the N6 ICW repeater in Sacramento.
Somebody had a question for you. Go for the question.
Yeah, go for it.
Just a comment here, Rock Mountain Prep here, about the consolettes. with those consolettes, you can also wire them to the dispatch console that 911 dispatchers or whatever dispatchers have on their computers. So, just a little add-on there. They do just a little bit more. Just I'd throw that in there.
That's actually that final box there on the bottom with the little red button on it. That is the interface to go from the consolette to the big control center, if you will, downstairs in the garage that I can remote into that one radio that's on that says N6ICW on it. I can remote into that from anywhere I am and talk on it through the system. Now, granted, this system brand new from Motorola cost, back in the day when it was brand new, it cost $30 to $40K.
Wow.
So do you have the MCC 5500, or what are you using for that?
I do not have the phone interface. It is that very bottom. I don't remember what the exact model number is for it, but it interfaces to the rib boards in the server. So, no, I can't do that. That takes too much.
So basically, they are relay boxes, correct?
Yeah, everything's relayed. So anyway, that was, I wanted to clarify that for you, Josh.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are consolettes. Those are absolute lots of fun. And yeah, the EAS encoder, absolutely love it.
It's like an EKG readout that you got coming out. Ticker tape telling you what stocks to buy.
Pretty much, yeah, ticker tape. That because it will read out exactly what was sent and at what date and time. As far as my channel goes, I am now over the 600 subscriber mark, and I think that's due to the long chat video that I said I just posted on Thursday night. That and my latest POTA video, but there's going to be a lot more POTA videos coming out over the next 4 or 5 weeks. I think I still have videos for, and I have a personal goal of trying to reach 750 subs by New Year's Eve. Let's see if I can make it.
Excellent. Go help him out. Go subscribe. So appreciate you, Frank. Thanks for all the help, as always. Next is Grayman POTA, right?
WWB802 with a comment.
Well, hold on. Let's get through all the YouTubers, and then we'll take comments. So go ahead, Grayman. How you doing?
I'm living it. Sorry, I turned him. I was editing a video and the speakers were on. It was coming through. Yeah, hey, just living a dream here. Not as wild and crazy life as Frank, but definitely staying busy. And now that it's cooling off here in Indiana, not getting out as much outdoors, I'm heading inward to the shack and playing around. So this week I've been updating all-star nodes. So that's probably what my video will be on this week.
Yeah, and you have a very nice shack, as you got Jody commenting. You do have a very nice shack. Thanks for sharing that on the earlier live stream. So appreciate it. Thanks for joining us out here. Thanks.
Well, I've got a picture, Jill. Like Frank, I'm going to send you a picture so you can put it up on the screen here.
Oh no, here we go.
What have I started?
Yeah, what have you done?
I have a question.
Yeah, hold on. We're gonna get through all the YouTubers. We have one more, and then we'll go back to questions.
I wonder if he's still using that MMX.
You want me to wait, Tim, or you want me to go to Mike?
Oh, go to Mike.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll just DM it to you.
Okay. Or you can just drop it in the chat unless it needs to be DM'd. But Mike, KMRD, Ham Radio Tube, how are you doing, sir?
I just want to slide into your DMs there, Josh.
Yeah, just want to slide on there.
Just have a question about
No, Mike, hold on. We're talking to Mike KMRD first, and then we'll go back to questions. So let's get KMRD taken care of here. Make sure we say hi to our friend, and then we'll go back. So KMRD, go for it.
Can't you even run an after chat, Josh?
I can't, man. Wheels are off, man. I'm tired.
Great show tonight, buddy.
Yeah, you like that? That was fun.
Oh, I loved it, dude. You had like 500 some odd viewers. I saw something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an innocuous
and every
thing.
one of them posted a picture.
Every one of them did, dude. There was so many pictures.
I posted mine like probably 30 seconds after you started the show. I'm surprised you got to it.
Dude,
but it was how neat to see everybody's ham shacks and how everybody configures it, and
yeah,
that one shack with just all the clutter almost made me unsubscribe. With the cigar boxes,
the one that really got me was the spaghetti mess of wire right where your feet would be.
Yeah,
that
dude. When you started talking about stepping on that,
oh yeah,
because like I've got my foot switch underneath my desk, but when I'm not using it, like it's tucked way in the back corner. All the wires are pulled back, like it's happy feet under my desk. You know?
Yeah.
That was cringe.
Can
But
we
yeah,
talk about
really cool show.
on my battery though?
Say what?
Rocky Mountain Prep here. I just wanted to say, Josh, I'm glad I got a pretty good laugh out of you with the vice grips on the battery.
Yeah, that was legit too. But so yeah, go ahead, Mike.
In my defense, all I have is a 5 amp power supply to run the radios, and I just got that so I can play around with CB. And then when I really started to get serious, I realized that wouldn't work. So me and my buddy from the club were like, find a good battery, and we amp vice grips to it to use the 5 amp supply as a trickle charge, and then just wired everything off that battery, and it works like a champ. But yeah, I'm glad you laughed at that. That's my redneck engineering at its finest.
There you go, man.
We call that hamgenuity.
Yeah,
good sir.
My favorite was the gas tank under the desk. I think that was also right next to the amplifier and the open flame. That's
that was funny. But for reals, the G90 and the ice fishing. And I hate ice fishing, but that was just too damn cool.
But you would ice fish if you could ice fish in POTA or ice fish in radio at the same time.
Dude, I lived in Michigan most of my life. I could ice fish whenever I wanted. You know how many times I did it?
0.
Once.
Oh, once? So no? What kind of fish do you normally pull when you ice fish, or what were you going for when you were out there?
We were in my buddy's shanty out on Lower Straits Lake, either Upper or Lower Straits Lake. I can't remember. Colder than all get out, but he pulled. I didn't catch anything, but he pulled a humongous northern pike out. I think it was 40 some odd inches long.
Oh,
it was crazy. Yeah, it was a big boy.
That is a big boy. Holy smokes!
Yeah, but we'll catch bass and stuff in that
That's
lake
what
in
she
the summer.
Yeah. So what do you got going
ice
on?
Fishing, not my jam.
What do you got going on this? Well, we're rolling into Black Friday. We got some time off. What do you got going on? Anything fun, Mike?
I'm gonna get a year older on Friday, so that sucks.
Black Friday birthday. Wow, buy yourself something nice, Mike.
It sucks because I'm gonna be a year older.
Don't worry, Mike. Or Kate. I don't know. I'll come to your birthday. Don't worry.
All right, cool. Well, POTA. So I don't it's my birthday is rarely on a Friday. It'll probably be a nice day, which is rare because I'm in Michigan and it's always gray and gloomy. But we've got the live stream on Saturday.
Yes.
So I kind of have to be a good boy. I don't really think I'll be partying or anything, but I need to be a good boy on Friday for hour-long live stream.
Oh, it's more than an hour, Mike.
I know.
We're starting
I'm
early
keenly aware of that.
It's starting early too.
This is year 3 for me, Josh.
Yes.
What time are we starting?
2 p.m. local time, so it'd be 5 p.m. your time. Or no, sorry, where are you going to be? You're going to be in Texas?
I hope so.
Yeah. Still be 4.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Mike, let's switch houses. I want to live in the snow. You want to live in the desert. I get it, man.
That's why I moved to Texas. I hate the cold, man.
Nah, just come to buy my house. I buy your house. It's epic.
I like where I'm at.
Texas is a lot of desert, though.
Yeah, but my place is a better desert. Trust me.
Scrubland, I'd say more.
I love the desert. The desert is so beautiful.
Yeah, desert gets cold.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but
Texas has a little bit of everything. If you travel around the state, it will change from mountains to desert to ocean to forest to hilly to, you name it, you can find it in Texas.
Don, I can do that in about 10 minutes in California.
Well, no, Texas is
Not
huge.
the whole thing.
They got everything. Yeah, of course.
Well, to be honest, living in a desert, it's like what you call. It's like when you get something, you're like, I want the other thing because I wish it would rain. Then it rains and you get drowned. and you're like, man, I wish it was hot. Then it's hot, and you boil an egg, and you wish like winter was here. Then winter comes, your hands can't even move because it's so cold. It's like regretting. Like,
Yeah,
you get me? It's
horrible.
It's hard weather. I mean, it's not horrible. It's fun. I'm gonna be honest. It's fun. I do enjoy it. Because we
Min-maxing
used to
weather.
when like oh sorry, but like when streets used to get filled with water, we used to grab what's called fridges and throw them on the water, and we would light them like pirates.
Did you say a fridge?
Yeah.
Like a refrigerator?
Yeah.
You would open the refrigerator and you'd get in it like a boat and float.
Yeah.
You guys are wild. Where are you? What country are you in?
Iraq.
Iraq. Whoa, I didn't realize that. Wow, we got some international DX
Wow.
on the Discord. Dang, dude, I didn't know that you... That's crazy. A freaking fridge.
Very cool.
I'm going to pirate my fridge down the street. That's funny.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
What time we was doing
hold on,
firecracker and
Toscat, hold on. Let me make sure we wrap everything up with Mike, and then we'll go back to questions.
Dude,
So-
I just thought of Jack Sparrow when he was talking about that.
Right.
This
That's
is
all I'm
the
gonna say.
tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. The what was it? The popper of the surf.
The jester.
I have a Jack Sparrow song as my ringtone.
Oh God.
No, Mike, one better. I got a jar of dirt.
No, it's not.
I have no idea what that is.
That's not better.
Jack Sparrow is. You can't.
You're
beat
talking.
Jack
Okay,
Sparrow.
got it. Yeah.
It was Hamcation last year, right?
Yeah.
Or was it this
Yeah.
year?
This year. This year, I think.
Yeah, and we're driving in.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think Mike and I were we were talking about music because we like similar music, but we have pretty strong differences as well. Like, have you heard this, Mike? And I played the Lonely Island Jack Sparrow song. It's so funny. Oh man,
I had not seen that, and I have not laughed so hard. That song was stuck in my head for like a week.
The whole time. The whole
Did
time.
not leave.
Yeah.
Like I was dreaming of Jack Sparrow. Oh my God.
So good.
So yeah, I don't know. That's all I got, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, appreciate you hanging out. And yeah, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
fun.
buddy.
Hopefully, it's gonna be a fun week next week. I only have a couple of days I have to work, and then we get to do some Thanksgiving. I got to get my smoker all online for the turkey and all that fun stuff. But Gray Man POTA dropped an image. This is the value of the long curved screen. Look at the entire CW contest that's going on right now. The image that he took there. What's the dimensions of your screen again?
It's 49 inch wide.
49 inches wide. Look at that. You can see the whole band, at least the CW portion and into FTA.
Yeah, that's just the CW portion of 40 meters.
Yeah, you can tell. Notice that regardless of how strong the CW is, FT8 is still like the most powerful thing on the right-hand side. All right. So there's a number of people who had questions while we were going through some of that, and I think we got to go back. So just go ahead. Who had questions in the live stream chat? We'll try to take care of it before I got to skedaddle, but I'm almost out of time here.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Don, and then we'll come back to M0.
So the problem I'm having in the shack is whenever I'm transmitting, everybody's going, "Oh, you got a really bad echo." Well, then I noticed that basically inside that room or that shed, whenever you talk or move or step or whatever, it booms around off the walls. And so I know that you guys, when you're like doing videos and stuff, and y'all run into some of the same things, because Callum, I think, had that problem where he is. And so I'm just wondering, does that sound like something you can add that sound dampening stuff to, and it'll do you have to do it to the floors too, or just the
carpet
the walls?
Well, somebody already mentioned carpet. So first of all, are you on a dynamic mic
there.
or a condenser?
I am on a Blue Yeti.
Yeah, so that's a
USB mic.
That's a dynamic mic, so it's going to be pretty roomy. It's going to pick up a lot of that noise. if you go to a condenser mic, I believe I have it's one way or the other. If you go to a condenser mic, that will bring this down substantially. So a lot of people are saying
then you've got to buy all that other equipment, right?
It's the other way
preamp.
around.
Do I have it the other way around? Dynamic, yeah. Okay. So
No,
you just
it's
need
more
phantom
than
power.
that.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You have to get something that, like a mixture and all of that other mess. And I'm going USB plug into the computer. That's all I'm doing.
Okay.
And I don't want to get into all of that. I've got one of those Fosgate things and all that. I have never gotten one of those mics to work.
Okay.
The XLRs.
So never mind. You don't want to do that. Fine. So yeah, you'd need some kind of room treatment, as they call it. So carpeting, a rug will take down some of that. Basically, you don't want anything that's where sound can bounce off of easily. People mention those foam pads. Those foam pads are fine, but a really good option for sound deadening is they make sheets, sound deadening sheets that you could put up on the walls, and those do a fantastic job. What you want to do is actually, it's not really a ham radio solution. It's more of a recording / YouTube making, video making type of thing. There is a number of people that put up that do videos on sound deadening, and those sheets, the curtains, as they call them, sound curtains, they do really, really well.
Okay. Yeah, I have bought some of those like eggshell type things that you can put up on your walls, and they're 4 foot tall. And I've got about 8 or 10 of those and I was going to put them every other wall slat, but I don't know. Again, that I didn't know if that would. I've never heard of the sheets, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
a
gonna
curtain.
look into that because it's. Yeah, it sounds like it'd be a lot easier to put up.
It's
because I have to do it to all 4 walls, right?
Right, and so it's easier to put up, and they're also. I don't like the egg crates because I think they look kind of ugly, and I think they're also damaged. Like, they're really easy to damage, and they kind of get dusty, and they're hard to deal with when they get dirty. But here, I'll show one of them. This is a 48-inch by 48-inch wide sound absorption blanket for $38.
Hey, Don, I got the same problem in here with my place, but I've got finished walls, so the curtains are a good idea. Something else that you might look at, and it's a little cheaper, is go to Harbor Freight and get some of those inexpensive moving blankets.
Oh, that would work.
And slap some drywall screws and just zip them into the thing and cover your walls up just to see how that works and see if that. We'll do that. And then also don't forget, probably the most important thing is if you slap a Gray Man POTA sticker on the door, that will reduce your echo by 10 dB.
Yeah. So and if I get one of those smoke and egg stickers up there and put one of the circles with the line through it across it, you don't think that will work?
You could try that, but you'll have better performance with the Gray Man POTA sticker. It reduces echo by 10 dB.
The only
one I think you'll get Don, I think you'll get a lot of reverb from the Smoke and Ape sticker, the 11 meters.
Yeah, probably so.
Feedback.
Your comment on the blankets really fast? Hold on. So,
sure, go ahead.
It's sometimes not advisable to just drill through fabric like that. If you want to do something that would be a little bit more effective, is get some screw-in hooks and screw them along the ceiling line, and then put grommets into the blanket so that you could take them off and put them on easily, because who knows, you may want to have like a green screen, a grommeted green screen, and this would allow you to be able to swap them out or add to it, take things away, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I was thinking about a green screen. The other thing is too, I'm thinking about putting a drummer pad on the floor. The problem I have, by the way, in this area here, everything around me when I walk is sand. And it literally, it comes in on everything. You'll get this little bitty grains of stuff that just float. And I do not want to screw with carpet with that. So that's why I'm not going to be doing any carpet. Now, I could put a drum pad down and leave it for, 6 months, a year, and then throw it away and get another one. Because the sand here, it's literally like you're living at the beach all the time. So, but it's not beach sand. It's hard to describe, but
it's like dirt that tries to be sand.
Kind of, yeah. And so anyway, that's the reason I didn't want to do the that, because like in the house here, I can just take a broom and sweep it out, and it'll, it's pretty easy to move. But in carpet, you'd have to have a vacuum like you wouldn't believe to try to get any of that dust out, or that sand out of a piece of carpet. So
never fun.
No.
I haven't heard it mentioned. Look up how bass traps work. So we use the little like fiberglass things to catch high frequency reflections in our theater room.
Mm-hmm.
The egg foam will be good for medium wave, and then the lower you get, the bigger the wave resonance absorbers have to be. Looking at how bass traps work should give you a good idea of what you need to catch that low resonance noise.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not low resonance noise, right? Because this is human voice level, so we don't really go outside the mids.
Well, anyway, yeah.
Because I'm not going to play music in there. I do not. I'm one of the very few people who have no interest in ever hearing another piece of music in my life. But
what?
So I don't know. It irritates me, and I don't like to listen to music. I gave that up when I got out of band. I just can't do it anymore. It's
real quick.
irritating.
Hold on. So we got a lot of people with questions, and I'm not trying to cut you off, Don, but
No,
we're obviously
go ahead.
not experts in this space, and there are really good YouTube videos on that. So I suggest you look into that. Also, if you go back through the YouTube chat, I think Steve Uckerman, I hope I said your last name right. He had a number of comments, and I think he's actually in the space of this, and also Sean was commenting a lot on what would work. So maybe go back over the chat and check that too, because I think we're walking into the area of speculating. But $40 blankets on Amazon may not be the solution to the problem. So you might need to. Oh, Steve Uckerman is literally a broadcast engineer, so maybe do go back and read the chat. Also, Greg's K6 EGG is a sound guy, so you might be able to reach out to him too, because he's pretty active on the YouTubes. So yeah,
I do believe he's live right now.
Oh yeah, maybe hop over to his live stream when we wrap up here and ask him. All right, so the fams and the kids are all here, so let's take like one or two questions, then I got to skedaddle. So who else did we have with a question?
I got a question, Josh. 7200 question.
M0 was the next one. I remember his call, and then we'll go back to the others. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Josh. So, it's just a short question, but over in Europe, we're fortunate to have a geostationary satellite that all hams use, QO100.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the footprint of that satellite only just reaches like the tip of Newfoundland, or like just to the edge of Brazil. I've made contacts there and stuff, but I know that there's a lot of like North Americans and South Americans also want their own geostationary satellite and possibly have them two linked. My question was, do you know of anything in the pipeline or any rumor of anything happening like that for you guys?
No, I don't know of any geo amateur radio stations right now. Further, the capability of geo satellites to be able to link between them is something called cross-linking, and they generally have to go up there with that capability, because if you think about where the antennas are pointed for operations, then they have to have a secondary antenna sent to do cross-linking, and so that's usually they've got to be able to interface with each other. And if it's not the same company doing it or same design of systems, then they might not work for cross-linking. But I don't know. Unfortunately, I have not heard of anything. Maybe somebody knows in the chat, but nothing that I know of, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is pretty unfortunate. It was just that I did see online, like on forums and things, like North American hams were asking about it, and it's just it sucks. Pretty much. Yeah.
So
that we have it and you don't. I just thought it would come to you guys before it actually came to us.
No, Well, I mean, because who put it up there? It's actually it's not just an amateur radio satellite, right? Isn't it actually like a company put it up there to do other things? I haven't looked into it that much.
The company's not on the tip of my tongue right now, but it's I think it's based out of Kuwait. Oh no, it's Saudi Arabia.
Sure.
And they've put it up. It's pretty much straight above them, so that's why we can get a good footprint, like from pretty much Australia to the tip of North America. But I didn't know if there was anything, as I said, like in the pipeline.
So Saudi Arabia actually has like a buku amount of bucks, right? So they could do whatever they want, and if their market space is they need that kind of stuff, then that's probably why they put something like that up. The United States already has geocommunication satellites, and even then, a lot of people just complain about the latency of them, and they're like, "Oh, Starlink's better because it has much less latency." So it could be that the reason the U.S. doesn't have anything like that is because a lot of people will not have the patience to deal with the latency of geo, and that's why there's so many high-speed ground terrestrial internet connections and communication platforms like that more than anything. So I don't know that the solution of a geo satellite directly over the U.S. is something that we don't already have. We just don't have an amateur radio payload riding on that satellite, and the market probably doesn't really exist any more than it already is being utilized. That's my satellite engineer type talk there of why I don't think we have one.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was pretty much the answer I was expecting. I know on YouTube there's a lot of people do the satellites that pass overhead, so I didn't know if there was going to be a demand for a geostationary, but yeah, I hope if it does come to you guys, I hope it comes pretty soon.
I doubt it. I don't think we're going to see because we don't really have a market for it. Like I said, there's not really a high need for any more geo connections that we have, and likely those companies probably wouldn't bother putting a satellite ham radio payload on there to begin with. So that's my guess, but hey, who knows? Maybe it'll change. All right, who was next? Next question.
Josh.
Yo, how's it going?
So I just recently got my technician license, and I was wondering if you think the FTM 500 from Yaesu is a good starter radio for digital?
Digital voice, you're saying?
Yeah.
Great question, and it was one we actually didn't get to with some of the people who were talking about VHF, UHF radios. The answer to this question, it really shouldn't be about a particular radio. It should be about which digital modes are popular in your area. Without knowing your area, it is probably very likely that there's going to be more DMR repeaters than there are Yaesu System Fusion, and there's going to be more Yaesu System Fusion repeaters than there are D-Star repeaters. So you'll have to look up something like Repeater Book and go in there and look at which digital repeaters are the most prevalent. And that might be the one to consider. So yes, the FTM 500 is a really fun radio. It's still a good choice if you want to do APRS or analog. But if you specifically want to do digital voice, then you probably owe it to yourself to figure out what the most populated repeaters are in your area. Now, with all that said, caveat. At the end of the day, digital voice modes, you can use a hotspot at home connected to the internet, and you can use any radio you like with it. You just have to make sure that you're doing the proper conversions to go from Yaesu System Fusion to DMR or D-Star to this, that, or the other. And that's totally how I use it. I don't even use the digital aspects of my radios in my car most of the time because, frankly, I don't want to be on a repeater where the owner may not want me changing talk groups and connecting to this, that, or the other on D-Star. So if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to use my personal hotspot tethered to my phone and just do talk groups that way or whatever, right? That's my own personal opinion. You guys may disagree, or if somebody has a comment, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. KK7WK.
Right on. Cool. All right. Who's next with a question? Because I think this is going to be my last one.
Hey, Josh.
WWB802 in the comment.
Okay. So I think Peachy, hang out because you've already asked a couple of questions. There was another person that's in there. Is this your first question from you? Go ahead. Brad?
I
Yeah,
think it's my first question yet. I had the opportunity to buy a 7200, and I like to have kind of a purpose behind the radio, and it won't really add much to my station in terms of like additional capabilities. I think it could be fun to build a man pack around it.
Sure.
And I'm just curious what y'all think about the 7200.
Well, I'll answer your question, I think, in the way every ham should answer these questions when it comes to getting another radio. Will it bring you joy? If the answer is yes, then you should buy that radio. No, okay, no, I'm just kidding. Well, what do you have now that the 7200 would be redundant for, or why are you so interested in the 7200?
An opportunity presented itself, so I was like,
I see.
should I run this down? So I put together those Pelican cases that you showed with 991A, KX3, FTM 300.
Yeah, those are beautiful cases, by the way, so good job. So everybody in the chat immediately screamed out in unison, 7200 is heavy for a man pack. 7200, it's so heavy for a man pack. 891 would make a better HF man pack, and I wholeheartedly agree that the 7200 is a big boy. But the 7200, what I'll say to kind of give it a plus, the 7200 was like one of the first radios, along with like the 7100, that picked up that one cable for everything methodology that ICOM kind of has continued and carried into their newer radios. So they're very easy to interface for digital modes. That would be a point that I would give to that radio. Other than that, it's kind of now it's fairly rare. You don't see many of them very often. The ones I do see, people have like taken them and given them like cool paint jobs, so they got like camo on them and all that other fun stuff. So I don't know if you already have a radio that's probably better than it's not really a good mobile radio because you can't remote the head unit. It is like a proper desktop ham radio, and since it doesn't have a waterfall, it feels like it's an older radio, although it's still completely capable and functional. So I don't know that I'm selling it for you, but if anybody else has a 7200 and wants to add their thoughts, go ahead. See? They're so rare, there's nobody in the Discord that has one.
Yeah, so I resonate with you in that it's like, it's kind of a neat idea. Good point on the heaviness of it. It was sort of ruggedized and had a little bit of waterproofing, and it did have digital, but it's like I already have all that. And so I could spend that money adding capabilities instead of repeating stuff.
Interesting comment from Steve Uckerman. 7200 is a single board radio, so doesn't need a whole lot of space. It's long in the tooth and a lot of air inside. So interesting point that you're paying for a whole lot of case and not a whole lot of radio going on in there. So I don't know. I would, if you didn't need it, and if you already have the capability that it does, unless you need a backup radio that you're going to kind of like store away, then I would probably leave it. Yeah, a lot of people, 12 pounds. It's heavier. It's heavy as a bowling ball. Yeah, they're kind of heavy. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would go with that.
I appreciate the space to ask the question. 730.
Yeah, right on. All right, so now I got. We'll take Peachy Larry's comment. Go ahead. You were very excited. Let's take your question. This is the last one.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking over everybody. My bad.
It's okay. What's your question?
I had a comment on his Sage end deck. He was talking about the Sage hooked up to like one of the consoleizers in the back there. The gray ones are I've seen a lot of people use this to relay alerts from radio stations that would be like an 1822 and something. The blue ones are the Sage Digital end deck 3644s. So yeah, that's one easy way to tell the two apart and stuff like that.
You lost me. You guys should go have a chat on your own. That's not a question. You guys are just geeking out on Motorola stuff.
I know.
Josh, you have a Discord DM.
I have a oh yeah. Okay, let's handle that. I did read it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mark, Boondock Echo. By the way, Frank, with your ticker tape, you might want to just get a Boondock Echo and connect it that way. And then you'd have audio recordings and live transcription instead of having to read a paper tape, right? Mark's
Did
joined
someone
us.
say Boondock Echo?
Yeah. Mark, how's it going?
Boondock Echo. I would love to give you a spiel, but I know you're getting out late and I got to the live stream late. So, Josh, go live your best life with your family. I will see you on the live stream next week.
Yes.
And I will find a way to shoehorn some stuff in there.
Yeah, I will be emailing you. I did get your DM. I need to put a show list together because I need to break down the hours and how we're going to socket them. For anybody that doesn't know, we already mentioned that we're going to be doing this live stream for the Teachers Institute. And it's a lot of fun to just be in a room with everybody and we're just going for hours. That's great. We're going to do that. But I want to add some knowledge transfer in this, right? Teachers Institute, we're going to be doing a little knowledge transfer session, and I've got a number of hams that are going to give talks throughout the live stream. And we're going to cover all kinds of cool topics, and one of them is going to be Boondock Echo, as well as possibly some other topics that Mark is going to bring us because he is an educator himself. So it should be a lot of fun. So I hope everybody learns a little bit, and also helps out the great cause that is the EWRL Teachers Institute. So thanks for being a part of that, Mark.
Thank you, Josh.
All right. All right, everybody. I do have to get out of here, but the best news about our Discord is that it doesn't shut off when I shut down the live stream. All these guys are hanging out, and if you guys want to keep asking questions and keep talking, that's why the Discord's here. And when they all leave the voice chat, which inevitably happens, no problem. Just go up to #HamRadio and start talking with other people. Or if you have questions, go to #HamHelp on the Discord, and that's where you should ask your questions. All right. Very good.
And Josh, if you have never seen Falcon and the Snowman, you need to go do it because it is definitely about TRW.
I don't know anything about what you're talking about, Don, but I do need to go watch that. I don't know what you're talking about.
K6TRW, I know where that comes from.
W6TRW? You mean that ham
W6TRW, yeah.
There you go. They're good guys. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Okay. I'll go watch that. A number of people have told me to check that out, so I will go do that.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's interesting.
It is. It's
cool.
It's Sean but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. I'm wrapping things up here, guys. Appreciate you hanging out. Thanks so much for being on the Discord, and I'll talk to you later.
See you, Josh.
All right.
73.
73, Josh.
See ya. All right. So we're done on the Discord. Appreciate you guys hanging out. A long stream on the shacks, and I got some good ideas. Also, I'm actually kind of curious about this ticker tape thing that Frank's got, because you know me and old technologies, which it's not really old, but it's definitely a non-standard way of doing things. I may have to look into that a little bit. All right, guys, I am Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to go sort out whatever's going on with these hooligans that my wife let into the house. And, hopefully record a podcast or get started recording a podcast. So hopefully it'll be up tomorrow morning. And I don't know what my wife has scheduled for me, but if I can get away, I have like 3 videos I got to go shoot at the park down the street. And, lot to do. Hopefully I get a little bit of free time. Anyway, have a great rest of your weekend. Get some radio out there. Last day to do so before we all got to go back to work. So 73, take it easy.